In this film, you see that. You see that they fight back. One of the ways they fight back is to go after Canadian citizens. Some Canadian citizens maybe already broke the law. And other Canadian citizens that haven't broken the law, they kind of round them up. But this is what, and you see in this film, what the young people in Hong Kong are fighting for, the extradition bill. Right. Because once you're in mainland China, the only rules are the house rules. And the house rules are controlled by the CCP. There's no rule of law. Okay, it's whatever they say goes, and you see this with his Canadian citizens, and it's one of the tensions in the film, as even the members of the Canadian government are saying, "Hey, look, we have a lot of people over there, expatriates that are working, that are on a missionary work or doing things for NGOs. They're going to be exposed," and that's the way the CCP plays. But you have people back in Canada saying, "Hey, look, you know, that's essentially extortion. We have to do what's right." It's one of the powers of the film that you see everyday people that have to make these decisions. And I think the film is a profile in courage, and I think it represents the Canadian people extremely well.
Sounds incredible. You know, something just struck me. I don't know if you want to speak to this now, but you know, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, it's not the government of China. It's kind of this parasitic organization that sits on top of all aspects of government and society. Is that's how I understand it?
Yes, parasitic. I would actually say it's a gangster organization. I think and that's why the only way to me that you can understand the CCP is as a parasitic or a mafia type operation. These are criminals that don't abide by any rule of law. What they've done to enslave the Chinese people is outrageous. What they've done to the Uyghurs, what they've done to the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan Buddhists, what they've done to the evangelical Christians, what they've done to Falun Gong, what they've done to the underground Catholic Church is unacceptable. It's unacceptable in a modern age that people that want to fulfill their own spiritual beliefs are not just suppressed, but actively gone after. I think also, if you look, there's no rule of law. So any entrepreneur, they decide that entrepreneur that they just want to take their business, they take their business. They want to take their assets, they take their assets. Listen, the people in Hong Kong are among the most orderly and decent folks on earth. If you've ever been there, it's basically a rock island with no resources that the grit and determination of the Chinese people, coupled with English common law, has created the third greatest capital market in the world. These are amazing people. And if you see, and they're hardworking, and they've been historically apolitical.
Right.
What Hong Kong is about is business, okay, and focus. And here you see, every week now, millions of people in the streets, very polite with the umbrellas, cleaning up afterwards, kids studying, refusing to back down. And what are they doing? They're saying this extradition bill is actually their step to totally do away with the rule of law and be able to come in and take me, whatever they want to do, and send me to mainland China to some prison that I have to be in a Chinese court. And this film shows you what a Chinese court's like. They show you how a Chinese court can basically just make up the rules as the CCP wants to make it up. So yes, I don't consider the CCP legitimate. What I consider is a gangster organization. And I think the elite, remember, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, is the Frankenstein monster created by the elites in the West. The capital provided by the elites in the West, the technology that is provided by the elites in the West. We could shut down Huawei in 30 days. If you denied Huawei the component technology that they need, the chairman CEO said the other day, one day before he announced the film, that Huawei is now in a life or death struggle with the West, and that the West could literally shut it down. They're trying to make the best case that it's a fine corporate citizen. We're trying to make the case that no, it's not a corporate citizen. It's a branch of the People's Liberation Army. It's an intelligence branch. It's got to be stopped. People should watch this film and they should question everything they see in this film. They should demand that we back this up, and we are going to back this up on our website and as we go around the country, in Canada and the United States, and talk about it.
Well, I imagine you'll be digging into some Epoch Times reporting, because we detailed the evidence around the links of Huawei and the CCP extensively.
Listen,
it's stunning.
The reason I want to do this interview, I have said for a long time, you know, China's been one of my big focuses. One of the reasons I came into the Trump campaign at Breitbart. For years, we were talking about the threat, I'm not a rising China, the threat of the Chinese Communist Party and how it was getting more radicalized over time and how it had hegemonic designs on the world. And it was really the reporting of the Epoch Times that so impressed me. I kind of figured who are the writers of this paper, because you don't really hear much about it, but the reporting is so amazing. And so one of the ways I learned about Huawei was reading the Epoch Times. And of course, we've done additional research,
right.
but I got to tell you, the Epoch Times has led the reporting on so many different verticals in China today, I think, to give you a pretty good picture of the enslavement of the Chinese people. With this thing, they call it a trade war President Trump's in. He's not. This is an economic war that the Chinese Communist Party has visited on the West, the industrial democracies. And what we have today, we have a world system that's half slave and half free. Okay? The slaves, they've enslaved the workers of China. Okay? And they have taken basically all the value away from them. They give them de minimis wages, no health care, terrible environmental conditions, no pensions, or virtually no pensions, and they're worked to death. And to make cheaper goods for the West at slave wages. And that's what this whole battle is about. The defining event, I believe, in the first half of the 21st century is the freedom of the Chinese people. Only the Chinese people can free the Chinese people. It can't come from the Westerners.